Welcome to Sharing Needles with Friends.
Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is well on this Thanksgiving Eve.
You're doing your NPR voice again.
I was going to go into a story about Thanksgiving, so I felt like I had to be in the storytelling mode.
I'm very accustomed to that sound right now because I've been listening to that Serial podcast a whole lot.
Yeah. Do they have a lot of very serious, intimate talking like this?
I mean, yeah.
And it just sucks you in?
It does. It sucks you in.
See, that's what I'm trying to do with this.
No,
right
I think
here.
you're really just pissing people off.
No, see, I'm just trying to put across, our professionalism.
Trust me, you're
first
pissing
of all.
me off.
But maybe our general average fan really enjoys it when I bring it down to this level.
No one likes that, dude.
Okay, fine.
Nobody likes it.
Fine.
I've heard many things from many people, and they hate you.
See, I don't think that that's accurate.
It's not.
But, okay, that's good. My feelings were hurt for a second.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Vinyl Me Please.
It is.
Derek, would you like to explain to our fine listeners what Vinyl Me Please is?
I will explain it.
Explain it. Go for it.
Vinyl Me Please is a Record of the Month club.
Bam.
And you can go to vinylmeplease.com and get a subscription, and it starts as low as $23 a month. And what you get for that is you get a record each month to your door, and it's an essential album that
you have
they
to
curate. You have to have it.
Everything that they have put out is a record that you need in your collection if you are a serious record collector, or even just an average record collector that just likes to buy records.
You'll get titles that you've heard of. You'll get titles that you have. You'll get titles that you've never heard of that are awesome. So I would strongly suggest doing it because it also comes with a cocktail recipe that pairs well with the album, and it also comes with a piece of art, and it's just an awesome service, and those dudes know what they're doing.
They do. They do.
And you can always add on. They got like that sweet members-only things.
I was going to say there's
that you can add on other records with it, and it's always
fantastic.
Good stuff too. So
fantastic.
I can't say enough good things. Just go to vinylmeplease.com and you should get on that.
And if you're feeling charitable this Christmas season, you can give the gift of music.
You can. They have 3, 6, and 12-month gift memberships you can get for someone on your Christmas list.
And that's kind of, I think, the best thing ever. If I were getting a gift, everyone in my family already knows it. All my friends know it. If you're going to get me something,
it's
vinyl,
probably just give me a record.
Just get me a record and I'm happy. Like,
or
you don't have to spend
gift
a lot of money
for records.
Exactly.
Or a Vinyl Me Please subscription.
Bam.
But I already have
Full
one.
circle.
But I can take another one.
Absolutely. Why not? We are also brought to you by Nothing Too Fancy.
Yes.
NothingTooFancy.com is where you can go and check out all of the fancy sharing needles with
nothing too fancy.
Nothing too fancy, but it's quite fancy. Sharing needles with friends merchandise, such as t-shirts and mugs and slip mats, because you got to keep your record player looking as fresh as, your person when you're wearing a shirt from Sharing Needles with Friends.
See what you do? You put your shirt on, you put a record on your...
And you have coffee in your mug.
Slip mat, and then you drink coffee. It's just the perfect thing.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. You can go and check out all of our merchandise at their website. You can also find them on Instagram with Nothing Too Fancy Knoxville.
You were going to say Twitstagram.
I was going to say Twixtagram, which I'm going to invent that.
You should.
It's going to be this thing that I'm going to invent. I've got an idea for an app, and tell me this doesn't blow your mind. Okay. So here's what it's going to allow people to do.
It doesn't blow my mind.
I haven't finished my idea yet.
Oh.
So what Twixtagram is going to be, it's going to be this so first of all, we'll get this out of the way. It's going to be a social media platform, okay, where people can go to, give random thoughts, share pictures, photos, whatever is going on in their life. It'll probably be limited to 140 characters, maybe 200, because I don't want people to just go and just type out novels.
Right.
I don't want to copy Facebook. I want it to be something that can be intimate, where you can add people and you can be friends with your favorite people and only get that in your feed.
Yeah, it seems like a great idea.
I think so too. I'm kind of in the development stages of it right now.
Not really sure if it's been done before or not.
I don't think that... See, exactly. I feel like Twixtagram is going to be this revolutionizing social media platform.
Is it brought to you by Twix? Is that what is this?
No. The name Twixtagram just kind of comes from the top of my head. It was just one of those names that just sounded good, and so I was thinking about for the the little icon for the app.
Yeah.
It might have a little nod, to Twix. It might have like two little,
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm going to be honest with you right now.
Okay. I want to hear brutal honesty.
That is the fucking worst thing I've ever heard. And
What? Dude, I think
feel
no,
way
people,
dumber now.
People will get behind this.
Talk right. I don't understand.
People will get behind this. I really think that this is the next wave of the social media revolution.
I'll tell you what.
We talk about that a little bit in tonight's episode, how social media does play a pretty important part in music. And
Do we?
I think we do. I think we kind of get into it. I think we may have made a mention of it. I don't know. For me, Twixtagram is going to be the next big thing. You can be a naysayer if you would like, and you don't have to really buy into my Twixtagram talk. But I think that Twixtagram is going to be the next big thing, and it's going to be free. I'm not going to charge people for it.
Okay.
It's it's going to be a service that I think everyone should be allowed to have and use.
One more little bit of honesty. I'm sick of hearing about Twixtagram right
Fine, I'm done.
I'm really.
Let's move on to something that's more
It's
relevant.
run its course,
Fine.
and I'm tired of it.
You're going to have it on your phone, though. As soon as I release the app, you're going to have it. Guarantee it.
I might.
Because I'll force you to use it for the show.
We will be
for
the only
sake of the
people
show.
on it. We'd be talking to each other. It'd be just like...
No, people will catch on to Twixtagram.
Okay, we'll see. But people should catch on to this.
Yes.
The Jazz June
Oh, my God.
just released a new record not
Yes.
long ago called After the Earthquake.
Which is unbelievable.
And we got the opportunity to talk to Mr. Bryan Gassler
Yes, we did.
of that band on the podcast.
And we're going to let you hear our conversation because that's what that's kind of what we do. That's what we signed up for,
Yeah.
Not
And you
only
would
do we
rather,
get to
They
talk.
would much rather hear him talk
Well,
than
yeah.
hear you talk about Twixtagram anymore. I'm almost 100% sure of that.
I'm pretty sure that once Twixtagram catches on,
That's all
dude,
anyone's ever going to talk about.
You're going to be able to share. You're going to be able to take a picture of something in the moment. Like right now, you could take a picture of my weird face.
I think that's
and
been done.
You can put it.
I
You can
just
put it
really
out there.
Think that's happened
See,
before.
you're thinking too inside the box. This is a little different than what you're thinking, but it's okay. People will get it.
Maybe I'm just
Cynical.
dumb.
Yes.
Well, Thanksgiving's tomorrow
It is tomorrow.
here in America.
Yeah. If you are in the United States of America, tomorrow is Thanksgiving.
If you are not,
rest of the
it's
world
Thursday.
is Thursday.
Yeah.
So happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday and happy Thanksgiving. And here is Bryan Gassler of the Jazz June.
Enjoy. So, Bryan, we are speaking to you from North Carolina, correct?
Yeah, well, I'm actually back in New Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia. So I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina, really for the past few years, and literally a month ago, just moved back to the New Jersey area.
Oh, awesome!
For, professional for my job, really.
Yeah,
so,
Yeah.
that's very awesome.
Yeah, which is cool now too for the band because three of us can get together more frequently and work on creative stuff.
That always helps
Yeah.
to be close because first of all, I want to say that After the Earthquake is a fantastic record,
God,
man.
dude, it's so good.
When I heard you guys were putting out a new record, I was like, no, wait, what? The Jazz June? Are you talking about, the Jazz June from, late 90s, early 2000s? Are we talking? Dude, this record is unbelievable.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you.
No problem, man.
Thank you. That means a lot, especially like we didn't know. You don't really know how people are going to take it, like when it comes out.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're so vested in that record, and it took nearly 2 years for us to kind of from start to finish, like from writing the first song to actually releasing it was about 2 years, and
Wow.
and like knowing that people love the medicine, and that's kind of like where they kind of either found us or loved us.
Yeah.
Right.
Like coming back with something else was like, all right, we're, how people are going to perceive us now, you know?
Right.
And we don't kind of sit around and think about that, but like when you're getting ready to like launch the record and people actually hear it, then I get this nervous energy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, you know, The Medicine came out in 2000. So, you know, this is 14 years later. So, you know, I think that going into a band's record, you know, 14 years later, you have to expect some sort of, you know, change and, you know, growth or at least change.
Yeah, the good thing about it is that I don't, like, it's so far removed from The Medicine that and you had another one after that. That was, what was that one? Breakdance Suburbia? That was an EP, though,
That was
wasn't
an EP,
it?
yeah. But that was before.
Yeah, Better
that was
Off
prior.
Without Air was after.
Yeah.
2002?
Complete departure, really, from anything we were doing.
Yeah. Well, this new record is incredible to me because I get this. I'm a huge fan of 90s music in general.
Oh, yeah,
but I
both of
get
us are.
such a 90s vibe. And when I say that, I'm, you know, talking more of like what, you know, Not a Surf, the kind of vibe that they have with, you know, you can put one of their records on and it just has a feel. And this record for me kind of has that same laid back, just like, it's so hard to put into words.
Yeah.
It's a record that could easily fit into a mood record category. Laid back. I don't know.
But
really,
it's still got its like aggressive parts to it. I think it's just an all around solid album. I was really stoked to hear how it turned out.
It's awesome. It's like it's nice actually to come back after this time, and put an album out and have it received very well. Like that, we didn't know, you know, like we don't know what people are going to say. And really, when our older records came out, and even The Medicine, generally it was loved or it was like hated, and there was no in between, right? Reviews, there was no in between. And like with After the Earthquake, it is generally like very well accepted and
awesome,
held within a good regard, which, you know, makes you feel good as a musician.
Absolutely.
You know, I think, you know, me personally, I'm the guitarist in the band, and you know, my ambition with music has always been to be like gain some type of critical acclaim, right?
Yeah.
Not sell a million records, but like just get in the radar enough where somebody notices, and you know, your name travels down the path through other people because
they appreciate what you guys are doing.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly it. So it's really nice,
and that's awesome to hear someone say that.
To get a warm, it's a warm reception right now, which is cool.
That's awesome. So let's go way back. Let's start at the beginning. Can you give us a little bit of a history lesson on Jazz June? Because you guys started in what, 96 and released the first record in 97?
Yeah, so 96 was the first year of the band. Andrew, our singer, he started the band with a few other friends. Two of the members are still in the band. That's Dan bass and Justin drums, and there was another guitarist who's no longer in the band anymore. They started and they recorded like a 3-song EP at Why Me Music, which back in the day, Why Me was recording like a lot of the Turning Point albums. I don't know if you guys know Godspeed, but that was like Turning Point. Oh yeah,
kind of very much so.
Yeah, so they went there and recorded. I wasn't in the band at that point. Andrew and I were in a hardcore band called Atari.
Oh,
it was just straight up youth crew hardcore.
Yeah, sweet. I like that term, youth crew hardcore.
Yeah, so Andrew and I like met at college at one of these orientation sessions, like before you even go, like you go and meet people, right? So him and I met there and just really hit it off, you know, kind of punk rock kids. He was a skateboarder. I was just more in the punk music and indie rock. And when we got together at school, just formed a pretty good bond, a pretty good friendship. And when he started the band with the other guys, he always wanted me to be in the band with him as well. So then they added me as like a third guitarist.
Nice.
So we started off in that way, and I think that was probably 96 as well, or maybe that was 97. We did a short 10-day tour. I think during that tour we crossed paths with like Braid twice.
Oh wow,
oh, shit, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was cool. And then at the last show, it was like a fest at, I think it was Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. That's where we met Mike Wessel from Workshop Records, and he was like, I like the sound you guys put together. I want to do your full length.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're like, okay, shit. We've played a handful of shows. Like
this is happening. We're gonna do something.
Yeah. And Mike was a really cool guy, and he's he's friends with the guys from Grade, who was like a band.
Oh my God, I love Grade so much. Oh man, Separate the Magnets and Under the Radar are two of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, you just made Gene's dream come
yeah,
true.
Yeah, dude, especially Under the Radar, man. That record is so good and so underappreciated and known. Like when people mention Grade, I get so excited.
Grade is a great band, and just like for me, I got into them probably, I don't know, the 10th or 11th grade. That.
Yeah.
And just like meeting now, and now we meet this punk rock guy who's like friends with these guys and putting out their other bands, and now they're interested in the band I'm in. I'm like, this is like cool.
This is working.
Yeah, this is working. So really, that kind of, I think recording the first album, They Love Those, was done pretty quick. We went back to Why Me Studios. Really, back in the day, at that point, they turned on the tape player and we played live. And
oh, nice.
If we sounded shitty or not, the engineer never really cared that much. We could only afford like 2, 3, or 4 days and maybe a half day of mixing. So it's kind of like, all right, that little flub in there.
Yep.
No one's getting it.
Know that feeling.
Yeah.
No one's gonna. I got that a bunch when we recorded a record in Boston once at Fort Apache, and we were recording drums on the first day. We were kind of doing it on the budget as well, and I was very, as I always am, self-conscious about my drum parts. And I remember. I think it was Jesse. He was like, "No, dude, it's good. It's good." And I was like, "No, I really need to do that fill again." No. And then I was cut off. Like everyone kind of said, "No, dude, drums are good.
We don't have the money for you to do that fill again."
Exactly.
It's kind of an awesome feeling though to have that sense of urgency when you're recording a record. Though I kind of feel like it brings a different energy to the album just because not only are you playing live, which is always. I really love records that are recorded live because you can just tell it has that extra emotion and it's just got that
honesty
and feel. And I've always liked live tracked records.
Yeah, we really, the new album was recorded in a way in a totally different manner, which was the first time for us.
Yeah, I was reading about that.
We were just kind of stressed. Like, how do we go in there? Like, we've not played these songs live like ever.
Yeah.
So, how is this going to happen? Because normally we're a band that just gets together. I mean, the Medicine is really like 90% of that is recorded live, like all live tapes with minimal overdub.
Yeah.
Right? None of that fancy editing stuff. Just punching in on parts. So it was a bit of a change for us, but I think it came out really like the end product was nice. And
oh yeah.
We got to do multiple takes and all that just is basically because we've had more time and it was about getting good takes. But
right.
I'm with you guys.
Yeah.
To bring it back on that live energy, there's nothing better than doing it that way. And I think, I don't know where this band will go. We definitely want to do, more recordings and write more songs, and with more of us being together here.
Yeah.
And working with Andrew in London, we might be able to kind of blend that.
Yeah.
Like get 75% of it in that.
Yeah.
More of that live sound.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
I was reading a little bit about it, and the way I saw it on there was that you all just sort of recorded things separately. Like Andrew would record acoustic and vocals and send it to you, and then you'd send it out and sort of piece together and wrote songs that way before you even recorded the album.
Yeah, it was really great experience. So, and I think, we'll continue to do this kind of demoing and writing the songs through demos. In the past we'd get in the room together and jam, and, you get kind of bored. You can't you can't be. Sometimes you're not your most creative in that.
Yeah.
You know,
at every single moment that you get together for a practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So when the way we did it now, you know, being with him across the pond is that he's been, you know, he's the main songwriter on this record, and a lot of it came really vocal heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's maybe some of the difference in some of the progression, because his vocal hooks are really like, you know, they're there and well thought out. And in the past, we'd wrote the music and then he laid the vocals on top, and there was kind of empty parts, or we'd play a part 8 times and there'd be, you know, singing within 4 times, and then there's just four empty measures of, you know, it's not connecting, right? So Evan Weiss, who helped on the record and produced with us along with Steve Capone, who was the engineer. I mean, they really worked us to trim that fat, which we did those demos. All the demos kind of averaged out to nearly like 4-minute songs, and then when we finally cut the record, they were down to about 3 minutes.
Oh wow, man!
But we did build. So we did build. So it did come with Andrew and his vocals with the guitar rhythm, and then it was almost like a race sometimes as to who would you know provide
who's
something
next.
back first.
Yeah.
And it was different. Some songs Andrew brought to me first, and we worked out. Or if there's a couple tunes that I kind of led just the musical writing that him and I kind of iterated before we sent out to Dan and Justin. But it was, for the creative process, it was a nice experience just to be able to give everyone had like room to breathe and think creatively in their own space, and then bring it back. I do think like we could have benefited a little more of jamming out live, but you know, we didn't have that luxury, and we made it work.
Exactly. You work with what you have, and I think that this process worked great for you guys because everything on this album just seems so solid and cohesive throughout that it's just a well put together like album in general.
Yeah.
Like everything fits together well. Like all the pieces are there. There's nothing that's out of place.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, kind of, I think what you were saying a second ago makes so much sense, because, you know, when you're in a practice space, you kind of feel pressured, like, oh, well, everyone else is being creative, so I need to write a really awesome guitar part right now. But then when you have the track and you're kind of doing it, you know, in your time, you really get to experiment and figure out what is truly best for the song.
What actually fits in the song.
Yeah, and I think this record has a lot more space than, you know, previous Jazz June recordings and songs and writing is almost, you know, Andrew and I talk about this, and it's almost like we were overplaying a bit, you know, trying to like show our chops, and this record was more like what you guys just said, like it fits in that space of the song. And with his vocals coming like that, I was like, I'm not going to be, you know, noodly guitar guy.
I
need to kind of, you know, I don't want to ruin or take away from that nice part of that nice melody that he's providing with the vocals.
Yeah, but your guitars do sit really, really well. That was another question I was going to ask you is, you know, little gear talk, because I like to know people's things. I don't know. I
like to see what pedals people use.
I love pedals. I love to expand my pedal board. Just curious, you know, like for example, what would you say is like your most crucial,
like the go-to
the
pedal
one pedal
for the album
that you use probably the most?
Yeah, I guess for me, personally, I have this Morley Emerald Echo.
Those are amazing.
That main riff in Over Underground, you know, it starts out the song and kind of just repeats. You know, that's my Emerald Echo, and I've had that for years and used that on a lot of the Jazz June stuff. For me, that's kind of like my go-to pedal. Past that, you know, my setup was really Hot Rod DeVille.
Yes.
You know, and my SG, but, you know, Evan brought a lot of gear to the studio, and Steve had gear laying around the studio, and we really kind of worked, you know.
You had plenty of resources kind of around to get the sounds that you wanted.
We did, and Evan and Steve had like a vision for tone. I mean, which was cool, which on older records we kind of just set up and played live and kept it kept the same kind of
right, exactly how you normally would play because it sounds, right.
And here, like we literally worked, through every song and got the guitar tones for those parts.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Right. So we did rhythms and got all the rhythm tones. We came back and we did, the lead or some of the guitar. The guitarmonies, as Evan likes to call them. And there's a couple in there. There's not a lot. But there's a couple. So we worked individually to get those tones, and the recording process being different. Like we kind of drums were done first, bass was done, and then it was rhythm guitar, and then lead. And like Andrew and I just kind of went back and forth for parts of songs.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty cool. It was nice. There was like a good flow to it all.
That's good when you don't feel like you have to be rushed to do all of your parts now. Like, totally. Okay, well, bass is done, so now you get to go and do all of your stuff, and then we'll revisit.
Yeah, yeah. We traded. I mean, Dan and Justin, they got worked over. I mean, Justin got worked over for about 3.5 days of drums, and Evan making them. No, you can do that better. Do it again.
Oh man, yeah, Evan. We had him on the show a while back, and we talked a little bit about recording. And he does sound like not only is he extremely knowledgeable, but he knows what he wants and he knows how to get it.
Oh yeah,
and that's awesome. I mean, I feel like
he's doing
everything
some great.
He
stuff
really is.
Lately. Like that. You Blew It album is phenomenal.
It is. Yeah, I mean, I think that I think as a musician. Which I think most producers are generally musicians to a point.
Yeah.
But I think someone as talented as Evan, he knows how to talk the talk and kind of explain to you what he's hearing, differently. I would imagine, I've never worked with him, but I would imagine he's probably a pretty easygoing guy that, has a good way about explaining and getting things across.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a good motivator, right? So it was my idea to seek out a producer for the band, which I sold to the other guys, who were kind of leery about it in the past. We've kind of just done the thing ourselves, but I just felt like I wanted us to have some guiding light and someone to crack the whip, because when we did, all the recordings before the Medicine were not producer. There was no producers involved,
right?
And there's some kind of slacker type things in there that, looking back, you're like,
we did that
a little harder. Yeah, and Evan definitely cracked the whip on us. It was all about good takes, but that guy knows how to play. I view Evan as like a studio musician. Like he's got the skills, he's got music knowledge.
Yeah.
And having him work alongside with Steve, who those two were in a band together back, several years ago. Steve recorded most of 52 Weeks. And for Into It Over It, and Evan also was in the Up Up Down Down band for some time period with Steve, and those two had a really good chemistry. So they both worked us over, and they're both like straight Jersey dudes. All they do is just bust your balls.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
That's true.
It takes a little ball busting to get them shits out.
That's true.
Yeah. So Andrew is a Jersey dude, so he's right in there mixing it up, and we've always kind of taken piss out of each other.
Yeah.
What we do when we get together.
Yep.
So it was a fun time.
That's awesome. So have you guys, let's see, I didn't see any tour dates. Have you guys been planning anything in the near future to do any sort of, shows around this record? Because you guys have both sides of the pond locked down.
Yeah. So, touring for us is just kind of complicated. There is 8, soon to be 9 kids in this family of the band.
Oh yeah.
So that's a lot, and you gotta. It's hard to kind of
to just leave the kids at home.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the wives think we're crazy when we talk about this stuff. But
I got a 2-year-old. I can completely understand.
Yeah. So, and emotionally, it's hard to leave those.
Oh gosh.
Too,
but I couldn't imagine it.
we're trying to be choice about where we can be.
Yeah.
So we played Fun Fest a few weeks ago, which was a great show with Into It Over It, Mineral, and Knapsack, and really cool band. Yeah, really cool band. Wedding Dress. They played kind of like the after show, which were cool guys. It was nice to meet up with them. But that was an awesome show, right? So it kind of made sense for us to get in airplanes and fly to Austin.
Yeah.
And
that totally makes sense. Yeah. I guess festivals, you can kind of space those out. You can definitely plan them.
Oh, yeah.
And, they're a lot easier than getting on the road for 2 months, obviously.
And, yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think none of us really want to get in the van for 2 months again. I think it's way too taxing. And honestly, with all these, with all the kids in the band and the family, the contributions that you need to make to the family to make the family sustain, you can't do it.
Right.
Exactly.
We played CMJ, which was a really awesome show. That was a couple weeks before Fun. That was in New York City. We played the Brooklyn Vegan Showcase with Beach Slang, Cayetana.
Oh, nice.
And Pity Sex, and there was a band from France called Sport, which was an awesome show.
Yeah.
And Brooklyn Vegan was like, "Yeah, we want you guys to headline." I was like, maybe they should headline because we're just like the old dudes and everyone's gonna leave. but people stuck around. It was a packed venue and it felt really nice, right? It was at a place called Baby's All Right, and it was the perfect size and perfect atmosphere for the Jazz June. So that was cool. But we are playing some shows coming up right after Christmas. So we're playing 5 shows over 2 weekends with Field Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's New York City, Boston, D.C., and Philadelphia.
Field Mouse is super good. They just had an album out not too many months ago, I think. They're on Top Shelf as well, right?
They're a Top Shelf band, and they have a really good album out right now.
Yeah.
So we're excited to, hit the road or crush some weekends.
Yeah.
Which will be cool. And Andrew's home for the holidays.
Oh, right on.
He's, which is the reason why we can get these shows in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cool part about all this and this new era or this new time period of the Jazz June is just working with Kevin and Steph at Top Shelf. Like we told them, we're like, guys, we can't get in a van to support the record. So we've got, we've got to think about other ways, and they were willing. Like
that's
awesome.
Willing
to work with us, and they know we're not a huge band by any means, right? We're pretty much a niche band, and they're giving us a shot. They're giving us their support. Like those guys are just awesome. So,
it seems like they're
never
an
in my
unbelievable
life,
label.
I've never heard a bad word about Top Shelf whatsoever. Everyone has gloated about them so much.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're really good dudes. I've never even met them.
Definitely good dudes. Some dudes you definitely should nerd out talking records with those guys.
Yeah, I had an email with Seth not too long ago, and he was thinking about coming on, and I would really love that.
That would be pretty awesome. So, okay, my copy of After the Earthquake is gray. I was wondering what you guys did. Did you guys just do the gray variant, or did you guys go crazy and do multiple different pressings of this?
So there's a gray. There's a clear with glitter.
Ooh, I want the clear with glitter.
Yeah, me too. I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
I didn't either.
That one's actually irresistible. I mean, if you don't even like our music, you still and there's a silver, but the silver and the gray are way close.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the glitter was I think limited to 200, and I think that one's sold out. So
Of course it is, because now I know there's a glitter version and I want it, and now of course it's sold out.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I've been really, really into. Obviously, as a vinyl collector, I'm always a fan of black 180 gram.
Yeah.
Because it always sounds great. But now I'm seeing so many records that have interesting things, like the glitter. Liars put out a record store day release last year with Yarn in the actual record.
Flaming Lips put blood in a record.
Yeah, and then, Matt Duncan put a tarot card in the middle of a clear record.
Yeah.
So, there's so many cool things that you can do with it. I feel like it opens up a way for the artist to be able to express their mood, their feeling, their emotion, and, their overall thoughts for this record.
That's another outlet to put your
creativity into.
Artistic thoughts into.
Yeah, it absolutely is just another extension of the album artwork and how you can, make it relate. And really, with the clear and the glitter was kind of like the ocean shimmer. That's kind of like Seth was like, what do you want to do? Like, what are the variants you're thinking of? And I was like, the clear with the glitter is kind of, we could emulate the ocean somewhat.
Yeah.
Right. And I think there is another press coming with maybe a little more kind of oceany type variant coming.
That was something I was actually talking about earlier. I really love this album cover, man. I as a designer, I like minimal, and I really like interesting images. So you put the two of those together, and I think that this is one of my favorite album covers that I've seen in a really long time, just because it's beautiful. I mean, it's simple, and it gets everything across that you need to get across, and it fits the feel of the album to me, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, it did come together nicely. So thanks for the kind words. Our friend Brett put the artwork together, and our drummer Justin's a design guy, and he kind of art directed, working with our friend Brett. And the photography was done by this guy Mike Roche, who Andrew, he's been a friend of the band, since we've been in college, and Andrew went to high school with Mike. So, we were looking at what are we going to do, what. The underlying theme of the album is basically, songs that are cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
There's some downtimes, but there's glimmers of hope in everything. And really, if you can correlate that to the way the ocean works, right? I mean, water is like sustains life. It just sustains everyone, but in the same right, it can just pummel you and destroy you if you're not ready. So, so when we found these images and Andrew really found the images that Mike had taken, it just kind of all fits together with the overall theme and of After the Earthquake. So,
man, that's
it's
awesome.
Cool. I'm happy you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, man. Let's see. I'm gonna ask a question here about music in general. Here, what albums this year? Like, if you have a top 5 of albums that have came out, because we're drawing close to the end of the year.
We're coming really close to the end.
So,
of the year.
do you have in your head a top 5 albums of the year for you? Like, what has really caught you this year?
Yeah,
in no particular order, just
no, it's cool. I think I've got more than 5, and I did a little homework here.
Oh,
too.
sweet.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So maybe we can kind of just let's talk this one through, and
absolutely
will be more than 5. So, for me, maybe if I had to call tops, or in the top rankings of the ones I'm going to talk about, really. I'm a huge Stephen Malkmus fan, so Wig Out at Jagbag to me was a great record.
Yeah, man, I've been a Pavement Stephen Malkmus fan for as long as I can remember.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah. I'm in the Malkmus big time, and I think sometimes he's like Real Emotional Trash for me was just an epic record.
Yeah.
The one before Wig Out at Jagbag, not so into it. So, for him to come back with this record this year, I think was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Cloud Nothings.
Yes.
Here and Nowhere Else. So I have a theory about this band, and I don't know that anyone will really agree with me, but
I'm willing to hear your theory.
I think they're like a modern day Jawbreaker.
Oh, dude,
so
I would totally agree with that.
If you think about like, the way the lyrics are spelled out, the angst, but like there's still a harmony.
Yeah.
How the drums just kind of pound, and then there's that, the minor chord kind of breakdown and noisiness.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it is just kind of like
I agree. That's probably going to be on my long list
yeah.
this year. It's, I mean, that oh my God.
And it just sounds like they're just fucking damn opposed to using a metronome.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love it. I love that about it.
It throws you off so much. And I want to say it's like in the first song.
Yeah, the first song where it just gets that speed up out of nowhere.
God.
It's just...
It just hits you. And you're like, oh,
it's like a roller coaster.
It is. It's so good. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
That's like one of those records when it's done, I just play it again.
Yes.
Yeah. Again.
Totally.
And it's like I'm 4 times through, and I'm like, all right, maybe I'll just turn it off now. But I, most of these too, I picked up the vinyl, so I have like a blue with a white marble.
Yeah.
For that one.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. What I've got as well.
I didn't get the blue. I got the just straight up black copy of it, I believe. But then I saw the blue later, and I was like, I sort of want the blue, but I'm not going to buy it again right now.
So, moving on from there, there's in Charlotte, I made friends with this band Late Bloomer.
Yeah.
They have a record called Things Change. Great guys, like total kind of 90s Husker Du sound, but
oh man,
they kind of bring their own angle to it.
Yeah.
Lots of build up, lots of.
I mean, you had Derek
angst,
at 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the early Merge and Matador MC sound blended in there too. Awesome band. If you don't know them or if you haven't heard them, definitely check them out.
What are they called again? Late Bloomer? Is that what you said?
Late Bloomer.
Okay, I'm writing it down right now.
The record is Things Changing. Like, funny thing, like moving to Charlotte and getting into this new fandangled social media thing that bands do these days.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, hey, like some days it's like social media days are like playing a show days.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I have to reply to that, and then I need to do this.
I've had to make myself do social media. Like, I finally...
But now you are sucked into it.
Well, I'm not sucked in. I just finally... It feels more natural to me to do now, whereas when we were first starting up the podcast...
I remember when I first started the Twitter account and I told you, hey man, so for the podcast, I think it's really important that we have this Twitter account. And you're like, dude, fuck Twitter. Dude, no. I was like, no, really, seriously, like, it's really going to be one of the best ways to get out there for us. No, dude, fuck Twitter. I'm not using Twitter. No.
I still don't quite understand it, but I tried
Derek
to.
was, I mean, I really saw like the look of fear in Derek's eyes when I told him we need to start using Twitter more often. I saw this look I've never seen out of 16 years of knowing this guy of like, oh God, oh, it was like a look of uncomfort and like, oh man.
Still don't like it.
I love Twitter.
It does become kind of, it does get addicting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Social media. I mean, I find like now I kind of take social media vacations. Like on Friday, I'm putting it down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not opening it up
Yeah.
for the weekend. I'm done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you can find yourself at any
you-
point just getting sucked back into it.
Oh, yeah.
But the cool things that do happen is like making new connections. and,
Yes.
engaging with people that like your music, or like really when I was in Charlotte and when I first got there, I was kind of scouting out the local scene to see like, what bands are here that I'd be into.
Mm-hmm.
And I found Late Bloomer, and they had a song called Tooth Decay off their first record that had this real heavy jawbox feel.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was like, this is cool. So I tweeted out, local Charlotte band, check them out. So just, I think after that tweet, like, you start favoriting each other's tweets, stuff like that, whatever. So basically started like I made friends with Josh from Late Bloomer through like Twitter, and then him and I met. This is gonna sound super dorky, but like we met for lunch. Like he worked a couple miles from where I was working when I was there, and we like met for lunch. And
Nice.
Punk rock lunch date. It she's like, you made internet friends. Like, that's weird. And I'm like, yeah, but this guy is like awesome, and he's like into the music that I'm into and has the same values. Like, this is cool shit.
Yeah.
And it just turns out like they have a really cool band, and I kind of talked my way into Late Bloomer.
Yeah.
One night, like first, Josh and I really, we got on the phone, and I basically talked my way into the band.
Wow.
Sweet.
I was like, dude, you guys need a second guitarist. I'm like, I know you're only a 3-piece, and those tracks live, like, I'll just double. I'll just play rhythm, and I'll double the lead. Whatever you guys want me to do, I'll do it. And we hung up the phone. I go to my wife. She's like, are you crazy? She's like, you got three kids. You just moved me here from 600 miles north, and now you want to go and travel with a band and practice 3 nights a week. And then I called Josh the next night. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry, but like,
oh man,
I can't do this right now.
Oh.
Like, I love you guys. I love the music, but like, I can't be in the band.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crushing.
Yeah.
For both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're awesome. So I think definitely a record to check out. And
Yeah.
definitely one in my top 5.
I will absolutely check them out.
So in Charlotte, did you visit Lunchbox Records a whole lot?
Been to Lunchbox a couple times.
God.
When I was there, I more or less tried to get to the shows.
Yeah.
And like basically support bands like the Dikembe came through town.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got that split
and-
with you guys when it came with my record when I ordered y'all's record through Top
I
Shelf.
didn't
I
get
got that
that.
Dikembe split.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I personally rather give the money right to the band. Nothing against Lunchbox or record.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Record stores. It was just like I was there a short time, so I was like, basically hitting up shows when I could and just supporting bands that way. And I picked up mediumship from Dikembe at that
Nice.
at their show, and really we were doing the split together and just kind of kicked up a relationship too. More weird internet friends.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool moody record that those guys put out.
Yeah. They're good at that.
Definitely on my list of top records for the year.
Nice.
Maybe I'll burn through a couple here, right? So I'm kind of slanted towards Philly. Beach Slang they just rip.
Oh, yeah.
So, big Weston fan growing up, and just to know like Smilin' Jim is making music again, and it's kind of in that replacement / Jawbreaker vein. Like,
yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it's super great.
And we played with them at CMJ, and they definitely stole the show. They just rock live.
Oh
Nice.
man, I bet.
So if you get a chance, check them out.
Definitely.
Creepoid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got.
Yeah, I love Creepoid.
Yep. So Creepoid, definitely, I think they put that record out in spring. Definitely into that. Really, really into the Prawn Kingfisher.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is so good.
We talked to Jamie from Prawn about a month or two ago, and man, I was just blown away by Kingfisher.
Yeah.
Seems like this is the year of like sophomore albums. Like everyone is
Yeah.
like stepping up their game for their second album this year for some reason.
Yeah, I think when we kind of came back into the fold and we were talking about writing songs for years, right? And like really when I went to Charlotte and we were just all separated, and I felt a little more isolated there, and I had other things going on in my life that were kind of like a primary driver for me to kind of get the dudes back in the creative mode again and writing. But when I started to immerse myself back into the scene and find out what's there, like Prawn kind of stood out for me.
Yeah.
So it definitely connected with them in a way, and just to hear Kingfisher, I think it's a superb.
It
record.
It's fantastic, man.
Yeah, and I didn't get enough spins on this one yet, but the Restorations LP3.
I haven't heard that.
Nor have I.
Yeah, so definitely they have put a few singles out, early on. I don't have this record yet. I need to pick this one up, but definitely they've upped their game, and we're ripping on the guitar a little bit harder in this record. So it's one I want to get, and I think it's worth mentioning as like
something that definitely should be checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fully vetted on my side, but it's like I'm like anticipating and I aspire to get this record fairly soon.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah. Man, that's a pretty damn good list you got going there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what about you guys? I mean, what's tops for you guys this year?
Man,
we're still trying to compile for our end of year show, but I think a couple of mine, just right off the top of my head,
that's the best way to do it.
Would be the new Shellac album, Dude Incredible.
I have to listen to that.
It's good.
I'm like party
so
foul
good.
here. And, Bryan did not listen to it.
That and crap. Give one, Gene. I'm
well,
gonna think.
Okay, so I like some more strange music that Derek doesn't always agree with. But I'm really into the new Scott Walker and Sun O record. It's just I've always liked Scott Walker. I mean, I love all of his early records, and he's still crooning, and it just happens to be over doom metal.
Yeah.
There's that. I don't know if you've heard that or not. I mean, it's definitely an interesting listen, if anything.
Okay.
I'm not behind it, but
right.
It's not bad.
It's interesting.
All right. So, yeah, I've not heard of him. What's the origin of
like Scott Walker started, I mean, I would say like late 60s, early 70s doing Walker Brothers, and then he broke off on his own and just started doing, just singer-songwriter stuff, and he's got a very baritone voice that is not quite like Leonard Cohen baritone, but like, because Leonard Cohen more, talks his way through songs, it seems. He's definitely a singer, but he's very inspired. He even did a record where he did a lot of Jacques Brel covers, which I'm also into a lot of like old French pop. And like Jacques Brel, he's one of my favorites, Serge Gainsbourg, so he kind of followed around that time that style of it's kind of acoustic and just crooning, and it was interesting then and now to hear him doing the same thing, and singing in this almost like theatrical, operatic, crooning voice with Sun O in the background doing their ambient drone stuff. It's not something that you're going to listen to every day whatsoever. But if you want something interesting, or if you want to freak someone out, because I think I was playing and Derek and my wife both made a comment one night. What is this? Stop, please.
It sounds like it could be sad music.
It's yeah.
It's definitely strange.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but I mean, it sounds like something to check out. It's like I generally I think I get stuck in 90s or indie vibe. It's just
me too, man.
For me, but I do like to branch out. And
yeah.
Generally, I get that through my friends, and I've been on the go a lot this year and moving, and life's just kind of been disrupted. So I'm not, I'm always looking for new and weird things to get into.
Gene's gotten me into electronic more than I've ever been. Like, I used to not really listen to much electronic music.
Yeah,
but
I really like
the new Aphex Twin and Flying Lotus are both really good.
Yeah, the new Flying Lotus is pretty incredible. If you haven't heard that, even if you're not a huge fan of electronic music,
it's got so much like jazz influence,
so much
hip hop influence. But another one of my favorites this year was Jessica Leah Mayfield.
She's unbelievable.
Make My Head Sing is the name of the album. And it's just, she's got this gorgeous voice, but this just fucking dirty grunge guitar going on in the background of it. It's just nasty guitar. And it's just one of the most gorgeous things I've ever heard.
She is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
One band that I got kind of caught off guard by this year was a band called Young Fathers, where they're from the UK, and I believe they actually won a Mercury Prize this year for their record that came out in 2014. It's called Dead, and they're a very interesting mix of like indie and hip hop. It's really strange, but it is so good. I mean, TV on the radio, whenever people, force me to give them something to closely relate it to, TV on the radio is like the closest thing, because it's not hip hop, but it's also it's just this strange blend of indie and hip hop influences that carries itself. I mean, it's just a fantastic record, and it's probably in my top 3. I don't know that it's my number 1 record of the year, but it's up there. I mean, it's been heavy rotation.
Mine's a moving target, man. I don't. It'll probably.
So in the hip hop, just chatting about hip hop a little bit. What do you guys think about Run the Jewels?
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's so good.
Yeah, I
love it, man.
I
didn't want to like it.
Yeah, I was going to say there were so many people that hyped it up to me before I got to listen to the record, and I had so many people telling me, and I work a couple days a week at a record store, and so I get to hear all of the hype around everything, regardless of what it is. And that was one of those records where for like weeks, all I heard was, "Oh man, the new Run the Jewels. Oh my god, new Run the Jewels." And so I was like, I don't know.
I'm already tired of it, and I haven't heard it yet.
I haven't heard it, and I already kind of have this weird taste. And then I heard it, and then I was like, okay, this is awesome. Yeah. This is amazing.
What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I'm into it. So our drummer Justin's really into it. And when we were at Fun, we got to see them live.
Oh, nice!
It was awesome. So I was taking in the hip hop show there, and I was like, I can get into this.
Yeah.
It's just a little. It can get kind of gangstery.
Yeah. There's that.
Yeah, a little bit at times.
I'm quite far from gangstery, so
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the part I get hung up on. If I would fully commit to it or not.
Yeah. Have you heard the?
I think.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, man.
No. I just think from a type of like a hooky perspective. I think they got it going on.
They do.
I think Flying Lotus also played at Fun Fest, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, man,
I think he did.
I think you're right. And God, man, that guy.
Yeah, and that album's so good.
That record, that's probably my number 1 record of the year. Flying Lotus, You're Dead. That record is most likely. There's nothing that can come out between now and January, I don't think, that can completely knock that out of the number 1 spot, because it's just so interesting. Like,
it is very interesting.
And that's electronic music?
Yeah, it's electronic.
It's more
but
jazz, really.
It's got a lot of jazz in it, man. It's like Herbie Hancock actually plays on the album.
Yeah. Flying Lotus is actually a nephew of John Coltrane, so it definitely makes sense that there's some jazz,
and it's got some hip hop too, because Kendrick Lamar raps on a lot of
fantastic.
I think Snoop is actually
Snoop is on it, yes, which is interesting. That was something that I wasn't sure about when I saw. I love Kendrick Lamar, so when I saw he was on it, I was like, okay, that's awesome. He's gonna be on a track. That'll be great. And then I saw that Snoop Dogg was on it, and I thought, oh wait, that could go one of two ways, man. I mean, I don't dislike Snoop, but at the same time, I also don't really listen to him a lot.
Yeah,
Snoop Lion.
Yeah.
Snoop Lion.
Yeah, Snoop Lion.
Oh.
All right, cool. No, that it's cool. I'm definitely gonna check out Flying Lotus for sure.
Yeah, I think you might enjoy it. It's good.
Oh man. Well, I think we're about running out of time here, dude. I'm super stoked that you agreed to talk to us.
Me too. Man. Absolutely.
Cool. No, it's awesome, for you guys to invite us on the show. I think we're excited. People are into this new record, and it's cool to be creating music. And
well, I'm glad you guys are getting back at it.
Me too, man. I was so excited to see you guys were putting something else out. Like this is probably going to fall on my top list this year. I'm going to go ahead and spill it to you.
Oh.
This record is incredible, and it means a lot to me because, like I said earlier, Derek and I, when we started playing music, we really kind of looked up to you guys because you had a few albums out already, and we were like, okay, cool. Well, they're doing it right, so let's try to do what they're doing. And so, the Jazz June has always been, really kind of crucial to what Derek and I have
absolutely
ever done. So, I mean, it's awesome that I'm elated, to say the least.
Yeah, cool. That's really cool. Just thank you guys for having us. I mean, just to come back, into the fold and have people like you guys who, you know, were with us in the beginning and are with us now. That means a whole lot to us. So
that's awesome.
Well, man, do you care if we play one of your songs on the way out here? Do you have a favorite off the new album?
No, that'd be awesome. My personal favorite on the record is After the Earthquake.
Okay.
I think it's
title track is always
definitely kind of has the layers.
Yeah.
And it's got the kind of the beat that
I was gonna say the drums on that song. It's got a feel. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I think it came out really, really well. And I don't know if you guys know or not, but we've got a video for that one too, and it's some weird thing where these guys in Hollywood were like, "Hey, we're fans, you know, from back in the day, and
whoa,
we hear you're doing new songs." And like, these are straight up like real deal guys, like doing real deal.
That's
work
amazing.
Like, we're like, "You want to do this for free?"
Yeah.
You know, they offered like to do it, and
that's incredible.
This guy named Eric Batterd and Ernie Gilbert, and they made a really, really cool video for After the Earthquake.
Dude, I'll have to check it out.
And we basically gave them the record, and we're like, you know, you guys can pick what you want, but the band kind of like leans to this song as like one of our favorites collectively, and that's the one they opted for. So
that's
it's
awesome.
Cool. So if you guys want to spin that one, that's awesome. And,
absolutely.
You know, we really appreciate the support, and you know, let's hit me up. Let's be internet friends.
Absolutely.
We can maybe we can go get lunch one day.
Exactly, or coffee,
and have a dude punk lunch.
Yeah, hell yeah, and like let me tip me off with some of this weird music you guys are.
Yeah, exactly. I could give you weird music all day long.
I think I'd probably fall more in line with what you're already listening to, but Gene can give you the weird stuff.
Cool.
Well, cool, Bryan. We appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for coming on, and I hope to talk to you soon, dude.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Take care,
see you,
man.
Bye.
Bye.
Crashed after